Science does not explain why. It only explains what. It does not explain why. It only explains what. It's the study of what happens when I let this bottle go. It's a study of what happens. It's a study of phenomena that already exist. And it's a study of the seen world. It's a study of the seen world. So it's a study of the droppings. It's a study of the remains on the campfire. And it cannot go and it cannot find the camp that already left. This creation of Allah is in the seen world. You can study it and study it and study it. But if you've lost your sense of gratitude that was inside you, Alhamdulillah, where Quran began, if you've lost that inside you, you could study science till your death day and you will not find God. And interestingly enough, people who keep their ruh alive, people who keep their decency alive, even among non-Muslims, you might be surprised to find this out, and I'm hoping to convince a friend of mine who's in North Carolina, Salman Sheikh, to come over here. This is one of the last things I'll share with you. He's got a couple of master's degrees, one in the philosophy of science, one in, he did a thesis on Newton from Duke, on Newton. And the question was whether Newton believed in God or not, whether he was a muwahhid. Moreover, did he believe in tawheed or not? Did you know that Newton, father of modern physics, right? He wrote papers on the existence of God. And he wrote papers against the Trinity. And he wrote papers about why it doesn't make any sense that God would have a son. He wrote papers, like literally, it's almost like he wrote a tafsir of Surah Al-Ikhlas. That's what it feels like when you're reading it. And these are the pioneers of modern science, and there's not one or two. There's multiples of them that actually saw science as a means of confirming God's existence, not denying it. And these are the pioneers of modern science from the Western world. I'm not talking about Muslim scientists. I'm not talking about Muslim scientists. But somehow there's this delusion, there's this gap being made, as though when you study more science, you're supposed to now believe in science instead of believing in God. It's like they're one or the other. The Quran's argument is the exact opposite that Abdul Rahman was making reference to. The Quran challenges us to study science. It wants us to study science. Because the more we study science, the more we appreciate creation. And the more you appreciate creation, if there's any good left inside you, you will be grateful. And who will you be grateful to? Not the creation, but its creator. But its creator. You know, the physician will be the most grateful to Allah because he's seen a heart beating when he does surgery. And he's seen this design, this incredible machine. He's seen it at work, up close and personal. And he says, mine's still beating inside mine, alhamdulillah. He's seen those things. He's seen them up close and personal. I know I'm way beyond my time, but I'll make one quick reference and I'll close my talk. There are a lot of young people here, so I'll make reference to the show. Probably some of you have seen it. I've seen 1 or 2 episodes because I was curious. Somebody told me about it. The TV show House. You can raise your hand, it's okay. I'll accept your istighfar. I'll make dua for you. Right? Basically the idea of the show is that you have this super intelligent physician who crazy cases come to him, nobody can figure out what's wrong with the patient, and he's this super crazy genius doctor who solves this case by the end of the episode. That's usually how the episodes work, right? But at the same time, this genius doctor happens to be what? If anybody knows about the show, as far as his beliefs are concerned, what does he happen to be? He happens to be an atheist. So the idea is, well, he's so intelligent, and if believing in God was an intelligent idea, well, the first kind of person that would have believed is a person like him. Though this is not a philosophy class, at least I want you to walk away with 2 terms. Deductive reasoning and abductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning and abductive reasoning. You know, when a patient comes to him, he throws a bunch of diseases on the board. This could be wrong with him, this could be wrong with him, this could be wrong, this could be wrong, this could be wrong. And he's just making guesses at this point. And as soon as he throws those possibilities on the board, he gives each one of them a shot as though it's the truth. He gives it a try. He gives it a try. And then the patient gets worse and he goes, okay, clearly it's not the first one. We got to move to the second one. Then they try the second one, that's not working, they cross that out, they move to the third one. You see this process? They look at a possibility, they test that possibility, they experience that possibility, and at the end when it doesn't work, they move on. But they try it first. He never does that with believing in God. That process, that works for him when he deals with his patients. He doesn't use that process when it comes to faith. He doesn't say, okay, let me throw out the possibility that there is a God, that there is a revelation. Let me exhaust my research into this revelation, into this God. So let's see if I can actually clearly come to a proof that he doesn't exist. And by the way, another interesting thing about his philosophy is that he will not rule out a disease until it is absolutely clear that that's not the problem. Nobody believes that that's the disease. He's the only one with blind faith says, I know that's the disease he's got. He has blind faith in a disease he can't prove. He's got a gut feeling. He's got a gut feeling. His ruh is telling him it's the disease. Right? But he doesn't do that. So that's abductive reasoning. You know, when you explore a possibility and you give it a chance, and you really exhaust your energies into exploring it, that's abductive reasoning. But when he says, no, logically speaking, how can there be a God? If God existed, then this would have happened, then that would have happened, and you remain in the world of if and then, you remain in the world of hypothesis, and you never physically experience anything or try anything, that is deductive reasoning. The Quran is entirely abductive reasoning. Our experience in the world, how we lead to success. We don't speak in hypothesis alone. Anybody that wants to be successful uses abductive reasoning. They follow something, they try it, they fail, they try something else. They keep moving. This is the journey of Ibrahim alayhi salam that he was trying to teach his followers. The sun, actually that doesn't work out. Oh, the moon, actually no, that keeps changing phases. You know what? That's a journey. It's a journey that's taking place. What the bottom line, the reason I mentioned all of these things to you, though I have a lot of other things to talk about when it comes to this discussion, do not think just because people that are atheists or agnostics or whatever are presenting to you certain philosophical arguments that you don't have a counter argument. Oh, that's it. They've got this mystery solved. And these billions upon billions of people that have believed in Allah and have naturally believed in Allah. Societies all over the world, mushrik, Muslim, doesn't matter. Some concept of God has always been there. And atheism is not the beginning. It's not the beginning state of a society. Some people pull out of theism into atheism. And usually it's because of some personal reason.